So lesson 1, we start with more than 40 years of big data experience, and also we'll talk about bridging what we call the data gap. Now we started way back in 1973 as Me Data Central and then launched the Lexis service, which pioneers online legal research by allowing attorneys to search case law database in-firm via private telecommunications network. We added more data sources and services for the next 30 years, including public records. We were acquired by Reed Elsevier in 1994. Reed Elsevier is the world's leading provider of professional information workflow solutions in the science, medical, legal, risk management, and business sectors. Today, LexisNexis has over $9 billion in revenue, with billions of searchable documents and records from more than 45,000 information sources. We have our legal headquarters in New York, New York, and our Risk Solutions headquarters in Alpharetta, Georgia. Our global reach, we have customers in more than 100 countries with about 15,000 global employees. Our revenue was $9.42 billion in 2013. LexisNexis Risk Solutions is a leader in providing essential information that helps companies across all industries and government predict, assess, and manage risk. Formed back in 2000, the business unit grew via organic growth and a variety of different types of acquisitions. The core capabilities of the business unit are data linking and data analytics for the customers in enterprise organizations, including financial services, insurance carriers, government, and law enforcement. Here's a pretty cool chart about our organic growth in acquisitions from 1988 all the way to the present day. We start with collecting public records for law firms back in the late 80s and early 90s. In the 90s, we also developed new markets and applications. In the year 2000, we acquired RiskWise and PeopleWise, and in 2001, formed the Risk Group. In 2004, we acquired Seisint, as Seisint became part of the LexisNexis Risk Solutions. Between 2005 and 2007, we established solutions lines in key verticals, implemented new scoring platform, and new analytic products. In 2008, we acquired ChoicePoint and completed the LexisNexis Public Records migration to HPCC. In 2009 through 2011, we have ongoing integration and technology migration of ChoicePoint, accelerating product innovation and development in adjacencies and international markets. In 2012, we acquired EDI Watch to accelerate growth in healthcare. And finally, just last year in 2013, we acquired Verid, MedAI, World Compliance, and Clarity, and MapFlow to expand our capabilities in strategic markets. So, what is the issue behind the data gap? The ability to gather information is outpacing the organizational capacity to use it effectively. Digital information is growing at 57% annually, according to the International Data Corporation. And this drives organizations to develop more information-centric computing architectures. Not just more information, more files. IT managers must deal not only with the management of larger quantities of information, but also more units of information and more diverse types of information. And this is the data gap issue. So here's a couple of graphs of the growth that we've seen over the past few years. As you can see, it's more of an exponential curve. So how do we handle this? Well, our solution involves providing an integrated data management system architecture, giving organizations access to accurate information in a fast, cost-effective manner, regardless of how fast their data grows. We use a high-performance technology platform. We've adopted a comprehensive and disciplined approach for managing all types of information and understanding and extracting its value. We also understand the value of this approach is vital to be able to reduce the hidden and not so hidden costs associated with the information explosion. Now, looking back, searching, collecting, formatting, and presenting data is not enough to maintain the competitive edge. In recent years, search capabilities, especially natural language, no longer offer a sustainable competitive advantage. Anyone can search on the internet for case law, statutes, which are public domain, Wikipedia or other wikis, news data freely available, and public record data can also be accessed on the internet. So, at LexisNexis, more value needs to be created to maintain the competitive edge. As a leading information service provider, we maintain the competitive edge by aggressively implementing information-centric solutions. Our value is created by solving more complicated problems. Some of the ways we do this are by enhancing and enriching the data by identifying and extracting entities, events, and relationships. Now, entities can be people, companies, places, domain-specific like attorneys and judges and courts, legal cases, and so on. And we extract these entities and related information to enhance legal, news, and public record applications. We identify concepts and points of law, and we identify fact patterns and fact extraction. We also integrate and link the data in a variety of different ways that are innovative. We link all types of data, legal, news, public records, web, structured and unstructured. We resolve entities by linking people and companies to existing public records. There's legal matter linking and entity-to-entity linking, like people to companies, people to neighbors and associates, legal concepts, and point of law to legal matter, expert witnesses to cases, and so on. So solving customer problems by analyzing large volumes of data, we accomplish by a couple of ways. We use custom analytics and scoring, our strength of legal arguments, impact of expert witnesses, arguments to outcomes, nested entity relationships, and so on, and completeness and validity, analysis based on all data, not just a sampling. Well, we do this using the LexisNexis high-performance computing cluster. At LexisNexis, we believe that every company's performance is handicapped by the limitations of available data management technologies. LexisNexis's HPCC data supercomputer architecture is uniquely positioned to help organizations solve this data gap problem. Now, organizations build the applications to fill the storage they have available. They build the storage to fit the applications and data that they have, but will organizations be able to do useful things with the information that they have? At LexisNexis, we integrate commodity hardware with special software to ensure that organizations can gain full and innovative use of their untapped data resources, access, analyze, manipulate, link, and store massive amounts of data across disparate databases in fractions of seconds. And all this is possible using the massive parallel processing technologies which we have created in LexisNexis's HPCC. It's a proven technology. Well, we use it ourselves. We've been using it for almost 14 years now. We are not only the architects of this system, we are also the largest user. And finally, we needed the fastest data computers in the world, so we made our own. Now, the LexisNexis data center infrastructure includes greater than 30,000 square feet of raised floor space in Boca Raton, Florida, Miamisburg, Ohio, and Alpharetta, Georgia. Redundant support infrastructure, including environmental control systems, power systems, network architecture, and security systems, are also in place. Currently, the LexisNexis data center contains power generation capabilities, including a state-of-the-art 1.6 megawatt generation power plant with N+1 redundancy. We also have over 8,000 servers in Boca Raton and at our disaster recovery site. Our storage and processing power is huge. Over 4 petabytes of total storage, over 1 petabytes of storage in HPCC infrastructure, more than 3 400-way Thor systems, greater than 10 100-way Roxys, and several hundred terabytes in high-end EMC and HDS storage. Now, these numbers, it's hard to keep up with. I've presented this HPCC for Managers course many times, and I always have to update the numbers on a almost a yearly basis. So big data is in the DNA of LexisNexis Risk Solutions. We start by ingesting data, cleaning data from a variety of different sources, public records and proprietary data on consumers and businesses. We link this data with other entities already in our cluster. We match records across disparate data sources. Then we analyze this data using unique and proven analytic tools based on all data sources. We also have an advanced technology that allows for complex matching, scoring, and processing in real time at the point of need for big data. And finally, we have industry-specific expertise and delivery. In other words, the people in our businesses have deep industry experience and expertise. We employ professionals that worked in the industries we serve, so they have walked in the shoes of our customers. Here's some big data examples that we have currently on an HPCC cluster. We have 37 million unique businesses, 183.4 million unique cell phones, 263 million auto and home claim records, 386 million criminal records, 3.5 billion motor vehicle registrations, 3.9 billion property records, 8.6 billion unique name and address combinations, and finally, 15.8 billion consumer records. Risk Solutions leverages data about people, businesses, and assets to assess risk and opportunity associated with industry-specific problems. So from contributory data, public records, credit headers, and phone listings, we aggregate the data, link the data, fuse the data, and then the results are useful in the following sectors. In insurance, we assess underwriting risk and verify applicant data, prevent, investigate fraudulent claims, and optimize policy administration. In financial services, we prevent and investigate money laundering and comply with federal laws. We also prevent and investigate identity fraud. In retail, we protect revenue and maximize operational efficiencies and predict and prevent retail fraud. In collections, we assist collections by locating delinquent debtors and assess collectability of debts and prioritize collection efforts. In healthcare, we verify patient identity, eligibility, and the ability to pay. We also validate provider credentials and protect and investigate fraud. In government, we locate missing children and suspects, research, document in cases, reduce entitlement fraud, and accelerate revenue collection. And in legal, we locate and vet witnesses, assess assets and associations of parties in legal actions, and perform diligence on prospective clients. So here's the many big data problems that HPCC solves. We solve problems in cross-industry big data problems. We also solve problems in financial services, in government, in healthcare. Via the internet, we monitor social media outlets for trends and patterns and monitor all the data on your network to guard against cybersecurity attacks. And again, here's retail, which we mentioned in our previous slide. And finally, telecommunications. We process customer data such as billions of call records, texts, streaming media, and GPS history. We customer churn, usage behavior patterns, and failure dropped call prevention, and analyze frequent caller data for plans and cross and upsell strategies.